Hi, my name is John Alzheimer, and I'm a credit expert who contributes to creditcardinsider.com. And today's question is this: when will my short credit history stop hurting my credit score? Awesome question. This is a little inside baseball because it requires you to understand some of the technicalities of credit scoring models. Credit scoring models evaluate a variety of information on your credit report, and most people understand and recognize that paying your bills on time is important in your credit score. Staying out of a lot of debt is important in your credit score. Not applying for credit excessively is important in your credit score. But one of the components that most people don't recognize or understand is the metrics regarding the age of your credit report. Now, keep in mind, this is not your age. This is the age of the credit report. And generally speaking, people who have younger credit reports are not going to score as well as people who have older credit reports, all other things being equal. In the FICO and Vantage Score scoring systems, there are categories of measurements referred to as time in file, or essentially the age metrics of the credit report, and there are two of them. And these are worth roughly 15% of the points in your score. So it's not a huge amount. It's almost like the vegetables in your steak dinner. They add a complement to the big things, but they are still important nonetheless. I mean, you want to get those 15% of the points because they're going to help catapult you into those 800 plus credit scores, which are going to guarantee fantastic interest rates from your lenders. People who have young credit reports are generally going to fall into a couple of categories. One is going to be the thin file category, meaning that you have a credit report that is very sparse, only has one or two items on it, very, very thin. And generally, people who have thin credit reports also have young credit reports because they're just starting out. So someone who's 18 years old, just went out and got their first credit card, is going to have a young credit report and a thin credit report. So that's something to consider. Second, if you have a aged credit report, let's say you're 25 years old and you have 3 or 4 accounts that are 5 and 6 years old, then you have a credit report that is on average 5 or 6 years old. If you start to open a bunch of new accounts and add new accounts to the credit report, you're actually going to lower the average age of the accounts on your credit report because you're adding new accounts essentially to the division problem, if you will. So the question is well, when can I stop worrying about this baloney? When is my credit report going to get old enough to the point where opening new accounts and having thin files are going to stop hurting my credit reports? And that's essentially going to be when you have 4 or more accounts. You're generally recognized as no longer having what's referred to as a thin or a short credit report. And when you start getting your credit report to average between 10 and 15 years or longer, that's when you're really going to start earning the lion's share of the points in those time-related categories. Now, there's 2 measurements in the time-related categories that I want you to become familiar with. One is the average age. And so if you have an account on the credit report that is 10 years old, another account that is 5 years old, and those are the only 2, then your average age is going to be 7.5 years. The older that average, the better it's going to be for your score. The second measurement essentially sets the age or the date of birth of your credit report. And the way that's determined is by the credit scoring model looking at the oldest account on the report. So on the example that I just gave you, that report would be considered 10 years old because the oldest account is 10 years old. The older that age, the better it is for your credit scores. So there are 2 things that you should avoid completely. One is arguing about getting old positive accounts removed from your credit report, because if you have something removed from your credit report, you're going to lose the value of the age. And second is continually adding new accounts over and over. Some people just excessively apply for credit like it's eating candy, and they don't understand the blowback of doing so. And one of the problems is you're continually adding stuff that's new to the credit report, and you're continually making the credit report look younger, and you're making it harder for the thing to age, and so you're foregoing so many of the points in that time-related category that you're going to make it difficult for yourself to really max out the credit score. So keep those in mind, but generally speaking, when you hit 4 accounts or more and when you hit 10 plus years on your average age. If you have any other questions about credit or financial topics, then please submit them to Credit Card Insider or in the comments section below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.